You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. One of the things Brian Kelly was asked about after day one was the backup offensive line, the second offensive line. And I think that is most interesting because of the future. Our hope is, fingers crossed, knock on wood, all that stuff, that these guys stay healthy. And if they do, awesome. You have arguably the best offensive line in college football this year. I've said this, I don't know everybody's starting offensive line across all of college football, so I can't pound the table and definitively say LSU's got the best. But they do have two projected first-round picks at tackle, a fourth and fifth year starting senior at guard, and a really highly touted second-year player at center in DJ Chester. So I'd put LSU's up against anybody, but you'd be talking about a very thin margin, splitting hairs if somebody was better. They're great. We can all understand that. But the challenge is whenever you got four guys like that, next year, you're losing those four guys. So you're going to have one returning player. So Brian Kelly was asked about that second offensive line unit and how important they are this season.
There's no question that second unit becomes invaluable. Now, we're going to have some continuity at the center position, but, certainly that second unit now trying to gain some continuity, at that group, that's going to be, key for us going into next year.
The one guy that I understand it's fall camp for 2024. It seems kind of silly to start talking about 2025, but the one guy that will have that consistency is DJ Chester at center, who's in his second season with LSU, but his first season starting, and he's massive. I mean, he's a 6'6", 320-pound center, which, LSU hasn't had a center that big since Ethan Posick. You've been talking about guys like Will Clapp or remember Liam Shanahan, who transferred in from Harvard, if you remember him, or Charles Turner, smaller guys. So even Lloyd Cushenberry wasn't a 6'6", 320-pounder. But here was Brian Kelly on DJ Chester.
Seamless transition in that there's four guys. That's the seamless transition because they can really prop up that center position because he's got two guards with him that are going to be able to pick up any issues that he may have in terms of communication. And so that's really our focus, and staying in the present is really getting that center position locked down for us.
What's also going to be interesting about 2025 and why it might be important for these guys to get experience, and I understand the caveat is that you could always go into the portal and get guys with experience. But right now, left to right, as you chart it on that second offensive line, your left tackle is Tyree Adams, who is a redshirt freshman. He redshirted last year. Your left guard is Paul Mubenga, again, a guy who redshirted a year ago. Your number two center right now is Cohen Eccles. It's a big getting him to flip from A&M, but that's a true freshman who's your number two center. So your starter is a second-year player, and your backup is a true freshman. Your right guard is Bordelon, and he's a redshirt sophomore, so he's a third-year player. And that's a guy who I've told you last year in camp I thought made a really big leap from his freshman year to his redshirt freshman year. And although he was playing left tackle last year, now that Tyree Adams is there, they kicked him inside. It's a versatile guy that I think can be a good college football player for you if you need him to be. And then Weston Davis right now is taking reps with the twos at right tackle. And that's a 5-star, but a true freshman. So on your two deep, Cohen Eccles and Weston Davis are both true freshmen. Tyree Adams and Paul Mubenga, the left side of your line, are redshirt freshmen. They're in their second year, but they haven't played. So 4 of the 5 guys are in either their first or their second year out at LSU right now. So while you've got all the experience and talent in your first unit, boy, there is a massive drop-off to the twos. So I think you got to be mindful of it this year, but how do you get those guys, that second unit, work? And part of it is, I think you hope you have some blowouts in there so you can get those guys some work. There's a lot of fourth quarters where you don't need Emory Jones and Will Campbell out there on the field, and you say, hey, guys, hey, freshmen, go get some work. That'd be a great scenario for LSU if it could play out that way this year. But you love your ones, arguably the best offensive line in the country. A lot of concern about the unit after them. A lot of talent, a lot of ability, high star rankings, all that stuff, but no experience. How do you blend that this year? You're having your dominant offensive line on the field, but also getting those young guys experience, knowing that next year, man, you're replacing 4 of your 5 starters. So it'll be a tough spot to be in. As great a spot as it is this year, it's equally as difficult a spot next year for Brian Kelly and the Tigers. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.